Zack, welcome to the program. Just for those of you that don't or aren't familiar with you and your work just quite yet, where can everybody find you, and what exactly is it that you do for a living?
Yeah, so what I do is I cover the NFL draft for the NFL Draft Bible, which is on Fan Nation for the Sports Illustrated network there. You can find all my work at si.com/NFL/draft. A lot of scouting reports, a lot of rankings, a lot of good articles going up. So got the team in place last week, getting ready for the 2023 season. They're already, I think we're up to like 220 scouting reports already or something like that. So like we're getting it ready to go.
When do you fully transfer over from the 2021 draft and start to, when was that process, and what was it like going from 2021 to the 2022, or sorry, 2022 to 2023?
Yeah. So it was, the switch starts as soon as the UDFA mayhem stops, so we make the switch pretty immediately. But yeah, it's been interesting just to see the difference in the classes. It's always fun to see these guys jump up and everything like that. But I think this 2023 class, everyone says it, but you're going to get a good crop of running backs, good crop of quarterbacks. It's really good pass rushing. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, so much attention on the edge and the pass rushers in the 2022 NFL draft. This draft is loaded at the quarterback position. That's what everybody loves to talk about. Who do you love talking about the most already among the quarterback class for 2023?
The guy I probably like talking about the most is Will Levis out of Kentucky, the Penn State quarterback, or the former Penn State quarterback, I should say. This kid's got some good mobility, good good arm talent. I like him a lot. I got CJ Stroud as my quarterback one, but Will Levis, I know a lot of people are starting to talk about him and just take this with a grain of salt. But when Joe Burrow came up, no one was really talking about him, right? No, and then he's flashing, he's doing his thing. I'm not saying he's going to be Joe Burrow. I'm just saying you might start seeing that hype and with the talent that he has, take that to the next level this year. You're going to start hearing his name a lot in the first round.
Is it pretty similar to the Zach Wilson situation too, who went second overall in 2021, or is it a little bit different?
In a sense, but I would say Will Levis is already more talented than what Zach Wilson was as a prospect.
Okay. That's fair. And that's a reason why you're so excited about him. Tight end wasn't exactly an exciting group in 2022, but it's much different in 2023, isn't it?
It's pretty different. I would say it's still kind of, iffy, if you would say.
Yeah.
I like Michael Mayer a lot. I think he's going to be the clear cut tight end one, unless Jaleel Billingsley takes a big step with the transfer to Texas. I think that Cameron Latu out of Alabama is another solid name to watch. Eric Gilbert, of course. So definitely some good names. Oh, Will Mallory too. I think he's going to be a solid guy to watch for as well. But again, it's not like you're not getting like the what class was it, like the Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson type of draft. That was phenomenal. Those guys coming out, there was a lot of good tight ends, and I feel like we haven't really seen like a steady crop of tight ends come through. This is probably like just looking back, the last year or two. Yeah, it's probably the better one out of the group.
Studying so many positional groups, and quarterback is an obvious one that stands out. Is there a group that you like studying more than another? Is there one that stands outside of quarterbacks that maybe you're a linebacker guy or your corner guy? What is that? What stirs your drink every day?
Yeah, I grew up playing wide receiver. I obviously wasn't good enough to get out of high school or anything like that, but I love playing wide receiver, and I love watching the wide receivers. And then defensive ends, man, edge rushers, man, I can't, like when I turn on Isaiah Foskey's tape out of Notre Dame, it's like I just didn't want to stop. It's just so much fun watching these edge rushers.
So in that note, are you a guy that's like happy about the shift now in the National Football League where receivers are starting to get paid big dollars right now?
I think, I go back and forth and teeter-totter on this a little bit, because you look at what Devontae Adams got paid, you look at what Tyreek Hill got paid, and all these guys, but then you look at the group of wide receivers that came in. You look at what Miami could have done, or Vegas could have done, what type of receivers they could have got. The group of wide receivers that came in this year was incredible. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, I could go on and on. This group of wide receivers was very, very good. So it's one of those things where, I think when you're the Raiders or the Dolphins or any other team that paid their wide receivers, you look at maybe this 2023 class,
Right.
Little iffy, if you ask me. So maybe, so that's why I go back and forth on it. There's so many good wide receivers that come out of college, but it's not always going to be great. So you got to hit that right spot of when you want to pay these guys. And I think they did it this year. I think that's what you want to do.
I guess in some ways, if you're an NFL owner or general manager, it's really hard to, in some ways, justify paying a guy 30 million when he touches the ball, maybe at most 8 to 9 times a game. Is that kind of the thought where you sit in that process?
Yeah, that's part of it. But when you're a valuable wide receiver like a Devontae Adams, man, he justifies him getting paid that much just off of what he can do and what he can produce. So again, I go back and forth on it. I'm kind of a whatever guy. I'll look ahead to the next draft class, and if it's not as clear cut as this last one, I'll pay my guy.
The transfer portal in college football has been crazy already. There is a hub football camp coming up. How important is this hub football camp coming up on June 18th for JUCOs and the guys trying to enter for the enter that are entering the transfer portal as well?
It's a phenomenal opportunity. So I'm going to have an interview coming out tomorrow with Brooklyn Hardiman, who went the JUCO route, went to Northern Arizona, went to Colorado Mesa, now kind of struggling to get his way into the NFL. So he came out to the hub camp, produced, looked good. And I talked with him and I asked him, going into the transfer portal, how important would this have been to you if you had an opportunity like this? And, he said something along the lines of, such a great event. Like I would have loved it. It would have been a great opportunity. And if you're in the transfer portal, get your rear ends out there, because anything you could do to network and add to your recruitment, or anything along those lines, put new film on new film out there in front of schools. Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. I can't wait to be down there in San Diego. I know we got some guys confirmed already. It's going to be a good crop of guys, and it's just a phenomenal opportunity.
You look at NIL right now. You look at transfer portal. Is kind of momentum shifting over to the college football athlete when colleges controlled their destiny so much in years past? Is it starting to come a little bit more over to the athlete now?
Yeah, because again, going back to mine and Brooklyn's conversation, a lot of part of the transfer portal process, or part of the recruitment process, was looking at JUCO schools first.
Yeah.
And, now it's more of looking at, the transfer portal. And actually, we called up, one of the guys that's going to be attending the camp, and we were like, hey, I know there's like 13,000, I think it's almost up to a little over 13,000 players in the portal right now. And he was like, wow, like, I can't believe it. Like, he had no idea. So an opportunity like this to be able to show yourself and kind of give yourself the momentum to be like, okay, this is what I can do, back to your point about it coming back to the athlete. Here's what I can do. This is, and we're, potentially going to have some NIL deals out there eventually at some point. So yeah, it's just going to be a big thing for these kids to really just network themselves, show what they can do, and just show schools like, hey, you got to take me, look at what I can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And considering that it's them putting their bodies on the line and their futures on the line, and they should have some control over where they're going, or if they don't like their situation at a certain university or a certain coaching situation, that they do have options. And I love that about the transfer portal. Zack, you have joined us at UFFS as a scout. This, I think, is around this time, so it's almost a year anniversary. I know you're early into it. You're teamed up with Heatwave, one of the best teams in the UFAFL. What has your year been like with us?
Second place Heatwave, man. We're coming for that. We're coming for that shift next year. No, it's been phenomenal. I was a little confused at first at how it all worked. It's such a big, organization of NFL teams, basically, right? I'm on the phone during the draft with the owner, the GM, the assistant GM, and like they're talking to me. I'm because I'm their scout, and I'm like telling them this and that. I felt like I was in the real NFL draft, man. It was intense. It's like and the thing is too, I love that you guys did this, because like when I was a kid, when I was like 16 years old, I'm like, all my buddies, like, we got to get 32 of us. We got to do this basically same exact thing at a lower level. Right. Mm-hmm. And it just never kind of, came together. So, the fact that you guys have been able to do this, it's been successful already in year one, headed into year two. It's all kind of remained together and everything. It's great, man. I love it.
You already have that knowledge with you because you cover all the players. You're doing your draft, your scouting reports. That must have been so beneficial. And what led you to the Heatwave? What got you in touch with Vin?
It was just one of those things, like, I get vibes from people. So I
Yeah.
felt a good vibe when I hopped on the phone call with him. Super good dude. And they just basically gave me an opportunity to join them, but be my own entity as well.
Mhm.
It's not like, it's not a, hey, you have this player, you have to give him to us. No, you can, go negotiate, do your thing, whatever you need to do. And they're cool with it. And they give me a lot of say and stuff. And they ask me about, trades and starting, who to start, everything like that. And we
Mhm.
bounce ideas back and forth. So, when you're a scout, you're scouting players. You're not necessarily, telling the GM like every instruction that he needs to do, right? But
Right.
with them, it's like a great group of, I say this, he says that, we all come to agreement. It's a great group of guys out there, and I'm glad I picked him, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you one day in heat wave gear. At one point, you need a hat or a t-shirt at some point so you can show that off, or a coffee
No
mug.
doubt.
So the next
No
time you
doubt.
interview, you can just do the, yeah, as I was just saying, you can get these coffee
Exactly.
mugs. One last one before we let you go. June 18th, of course, is our futures auction. You'll be tied up at the Hub football camp. Will you have some input on what the Heat Wave do and on that big day for futures auction, the top 64, 21-22 recruiting classes?
Yeah, no doubt. We'll be talking before I go down there. I probably won't be in the room on June 18th. I'm going to be on the football field.
Yeah.
Again, I'm in Minnesota, so I get to go to San Diego, beautiful San Diego, get out
Yes,
of
you
the cold
do.
weather.
Yes, you do.
It's pretty warm today, but no, I'm gonna get some beautiful San Diego weather. So I'll be hopping on a call probably Thursday with them before I fly out Friday, and yeah, we'll get everything sorted out. I trust what these guys are gonna do.
All right, one more time, Zach. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at NFL_Zack. That's Zach with the K, the proper way to spell it, if you ask me. and you can find all my work at si.com/NFL/draft. Again, all articles, reports, rankings. 2023 is coming. I counted, it was 219 reports already up there. So get to know these guys. It's going to be a solid group of guys.